So here we are back again. Click on Run Crosstab, and the system does all of the work for you. So we're going to get a response similar to what we saw in reading the crosstab earlier. Now, remember I mentioned at the beginning of the crosstab basics that I knew you were unlikely to own a BlackBerry? Well, this is how I knew that. Whenever you see an asterisk next to a number in a crosstab, it means that not enough people responded to the question to make the results statistically significant. Therefore, you can't use that information. Now, thinking back on how to read a crosstab, if I'm asking the question, which brand of smartphone is most popular amongst college students, is that a vertical question or a horizontal question? Well, since I'm interested in what these 11.3 million full-time college students think, then I want to look at the vertical percentage. I want to see which smartphone brand has the highest vertical percentage. So I'm looking down. iPhone, not surprisingly, at 31%. So far, that's the highest. But keep looking down just to make sure that there's no other brand that has greater than a 31% vertical percentage. Samsung's coming closest with 21.4%. But no, Apple is the winner. The iPhone has the greatest percentage of ownership amongst full-time college students. Is that what you guessed? Probably so. Now, we're going to do one last thing before we're done, though. We've been looking at all people who are attending college full-time, but I'm really just interested in 18 to 24-year-olds. So that means I need to edit my crosstab here because I hadn't made that designation earlier. So if you go up to the top in the left hand here, you see this edit button up here. If I click on that edit button, it takes me back to my codebook view. And now I want to go down into this work section down here and create a new target definition, which will combine full-time college students with just 18 to 24-year-olds. Since I've already identified full-time college students in my column heading here, I don't need to go back here to recode it. So I'm just going to drag and drop that down here. Now, remember, you want to make sure that you name your characteristic correct, or you're going to get confused as to exactly which target audience you're looking at. So for here, I'm going to call it full-time student, 18 to 24. So we have a full-time college student. Remember the definitions tab up here? I'm going to click on that because it's going to give me pre-coded basic demographic profiles. So I click on basic profile. I find my 18 to 24-year-olds. Now, I want to AND the full-time college student and 18 to 24 because they have to be both. What you'll note here is the AND is in red, if you notice that. That is because this definition is not yet correctly coded. I need to bring my 18 to 24 in. So click, drag and drop. You see the AND change to blue. That means that I am ready to use that as a column or a row heading. Another way you can make sure that you've coded correctly is to hit the verify button. If the verify responds back, then you'll see that these characteristics light back up again, and you can move that target definition anywhere you want. One other thing I want to show you here is if you click on this define button down at the bottom, it will also give you exactly in English what this coding is, because you'll get confused. You won't remember what study CFT means. So the define button is a very useful function as well. So I'm going to move my full-time student 18 to 24 over to my column heading. Now note, because we ANDed full-time student to 18 and 24, and ANDing is a contracting factor, you'll notice that my 11.3 million population has dropped down to just shy of 7.5 million. So only 7.5 million currently enrolled full-time college students are between the ages of 18 to 24. I go back up, I run my crosstab again, and what's interesting to note here is now my vertical percentage for my full-time students between 18 to 24 is 36%. So that means 36% of all 18 to 24-year-old college students own an iPhone. Since that number is higher than the vertical percentage for all full-time college students, it suggests to you that iPhone is perhaps a younger skewing phone. Another thing that's interesting to note is our HTC numbers were statistically significant under the original crosstab, but now we're getting asterisks here, which means that it's not reliable. We can't look at those numbers. That suggests that the HTC phone is probably a slightly older skewing phone. So now you're armed with all of these basics. The world is now your oyster. You have all of the basic tools to answer literally thousands of questions about almost anyone in the U.S. So with the questions below, it's time for you to start playing around and see what you can discover.